Welcome back to another episode of Real Life with Ty. This is episode 23, Resilient. I hope that everybody had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Let's go ahead and get started. Ty on the line. You've got Ty on the line on your podcast. So what's on her mind for you now? You are listening to Ty on the line. This week, I wanted to go ahead and shed spotlight on the new Florida laws that went into effect July 1st. We have over 100 new laws, so you guys should definitely check them out. But I just wanted to shed spotlight on a few. So, Bright Future Scholarship will now require students to have an SAT score near 1330 instead of 1290. You can now be pulled over for texting and driving, so please do not text and drive. The testing requirements for teachers to get certified got easier, so that's great. Hopefully we get a lot more teachers in the field. Technical training in high schools is starting to get encouraged through career planning programs and mentorship programs, so that's good. Like, they're starting to give the kids more technical training so that they are able to leave school with not only a diploma but some sort of certificate in something. So that's super awesome. So state correctional facilities are now required to provide incarcerated women with certain healthcare products. They did not go into detail on what those healthcare products are, but it's good to know that they are starting to take better care of the female inmates. There is no more vaping at indoor workplaces. I am so happy about that because, sometimes the vapes do have like sweet smells and it could be like really nice, but then sometimes they smell disgusting and it's just like I don't even understand why they were allowed in the first place. But with anything new, that we have to fill it out, we have to see how it goes, and then at some point when they realize, okay, this is too much, that's when it becomes a law. So let's see here. Florida will no longer allow the sale or possession of sex dolls that look like children. That is disgusting. I didn't even know that we even had sex dolls out there that look like children. I'm not even going to comment on that too much, but I'm definitely happy that that is now a new law. People who injure or kill first responder dogs or horses could now face up to 15 years in prison instead of 5 years, which was the original sentence. So please do not hurt these people's dogs or horses, because now you can look up to 15 years in prison. That's another episode. Florida schools and colleges now have to treat allegations of anti-Semitism the same as racism. Now, I had to look up what sentimentism was. Sentimentism is hospitality towards or discrimination against Jews as a religious or racial group. That's interesting that we have a law protecting Jews against this. However, we don't have... Okay, yeah. Y'all know where I'm going with that. They have another law. Trained teachers in certain districts can volunteer to carry a weapon. I don't know how I feel about this. Actually, I don't like this at all. I don't like the idea of teachers holding weapons. I understand, like, with the rise of, school shootings and things like that going on, I get it. But then again, I kind of feel like maybe we should just hire more security in schools and train them, as opposed to allowing the teachers to have the ability to carry a weapon. Like, I don't like the idea at all. Back to school tax-free week is August 2nd to the 6th, for those who need to know that. The Miami Needle Exchange Program has expanded, and there's going to be different counties across Florida who will create their own. Now, the Miami Needle Exchange Program is where they provide clean needles to drug addicts. They also test for HIV, hepatitis C, and treat infections. I'm super happy that this is now moving on to different counties, because it does kind of help with the transmitted diseases among the drug community, and it also gives them an outlet and allows them to get resources for those who aren't able to pay for rehab or any form of medical services. So I'm happy that they are able to help them in that sense. And now, as we know, felons can regain voting rights in Florida, but they are required to pay a a re-institution fee and fees before registering. I'm so tongue tied today. I don't know what is going on, but I'm happy that felons are now allowed to vote. That should help us a lot in the voting campaigns that are coming up in 2020. However, the fact that they have to pay fees, I hope that they are not ridiculous prices. It did not go into detail on how much they are, but it just kind of feels like you take one step forward to take two steps back. But nonetheless, the fact that they're even granted to vote is definitely a good thing. So those are the new Florida laws. Like I said, there's over 100 of them. I just pointed some of these because I felt like they were pretty important while I was looking through it. So remember, please do not text and drive because at this point you can definitely get pulled over for that. Darling, fetch me my teacup. As you guys know, your girl's a little bit bougie now. I'm just kidding. But I am dipping and dabbing into organic teas. And this week I had Blue Jasmine from Rishi Tea. Blue Jasmine is a blend of butterfly pea flowers from Thailand and green tea from China. It's super fresh and it smells so good. It's very sweet, very refreshing, very, I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. And then the way that it looks, like the colors and the smell, is just a really good tea. It is a little bit on the expensive side. This tea ran me about $36. But they do give you a decent amount of quantity, and it is a loose leaf tea. So you have to get one of those. I don't know what it's called, but I actually have like this little circle thing. I got it with a tea kit, and you put the leaves in there and then you dip it in the water for it to brew because, like, it's not in an actual tea bag like the regular tea. So that was super good and super awesome. As I was reading as far as the benefits, it just said that it's an antioxidant, so that's really good. But I do like organic teas so far. They seem like they just taste a lot richer and you taste the flavor more than the regular teas. And I'm not throwing any shade on the regular teas because they do taste good too. But it's just like I taste more of the flavors in the organic teas. I'm super excited about this interview because I am a huge fan of Lee, and I feel like this is such a starstruck moment when it's like you finally get to sit down and talk to someone that you truly enjoy, like their music and everything about them. So let's go ahead and hear the interview. Welcome back to another episode of Real Life with Ty. This week I have a special guest with me, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Lee Ackred. Yeah.
Lee is a songwriter, producer, engineer. She does it all. And we're just going to talk about music and a couple of other things. So, in Voyage Miami, you talk about growing up in a Jamaican household with a lot of exposure to different types of music, such as reggae, jazz, and soul. What would you say your favorite type of music is and why?
Well, first of all, shout out to Voyage Miami for that dope article. But yeah, I did grow up in a Jamaican household, so Bob Marley, dance hall, reggae, all that stuff was always playing. And my stepdad, he actually was a jazz trumpet player, so he put on like jazz music all the time, soul music all the time. And basically, like I learned a lot about like writing from the heart
Mm-hmm.
and not like constructing stuff for like mainstream media
Yeah.
through the music that I listen to. I can't really say that I have a favorite type of music though,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Because like literally on the way here, I was blasting some like hype music,
Uh huh.
but I wouldn't say that's my favorite, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
listen to music just based on like,
Your mood, how you're
yeah, whatever
feeling.
mood I'm
Yeah.
in, I'm gonna play something for that.
I could definitely relate to that. So, what instruments do you play?
Ooh, okay. So I'm a little bit of a nerd, like when I was in like middle school, I used to be like really good at like trumpet,
Mhm.
trombone, brass instruments, stuff like that,
Mhm.
Got myself in the little newspaper, front
Okay.
page for
Okay.
that kind of
Uh
stuff.
huh.
But, I got older, kind of got off of that a little bit, started playing more guitar, piano, really trying to get into vocals now.
Mhm.
And get more into the engineering and science behind music
Mhm.
instead of just just instruments, you know what I mean? I want to
Yeah.
like learn the whole sonic spectrum, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I can completely understand that. And another thing that really stuck out to me in the Voyage Miami article was you saying that you're literally self sufficient. So your ability to create content and music is limitless. Like that stuck so much to me because a lot of artists out there can typically do one or two things, but you can literally create your song, sing it, produce it, do everything that you need to do to create it. So that's super awesome.
Yeah, I think that's dope, you know? Like I don't know, do you know who Russ is?
I think I know who Russ is. I don't know people by name. I know them by song.
Okay, I hear that. He's this guy like, and he's really popular
Uh
actually.
huh.
Like he sells out arenas with like 13,000 people, but like he prides himself on being like super self sufficient. Like he's got plaques in his house, and I think he was like the first person to ever be like drop an album that went platinum that was completely like mixed, mastered, produced, written, like sang by one person. And like
Wow.
stuff like that I think is like super important because it's like you want to be able to control your content, you know what I mean? You don't want to have somebody else to be like, you know, um, controlling what you do or like
Or
I don't
restricting you in any way, like
yeah.
waiting on someone to do something and
Yeah, we've
yeah.
all had those horror stories where you gotta wait like, you know, like a week, 2 weeks, months, you know,
Yeah.
like a long period of time for somebody else to do something for you. And it's just like, you know, do we curse on here? Can we curse on here or no?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, we're not gonna be saying all type of bombs, but you
Well,
can
like,
if you
F
need
that,
to.
you know? Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to be like, you know, but
I completely understand that. So you have two songs out right now, which are Now and Agua. What was the process like for creating them?
oh, well, I'm like fairly simple when it comes to my creation process. Like, I'll start with just the music and then whatever the music inspires lyrically. Like, actually, I shouldn't say that for everything, but that's how those two came about. I started with the music and they kind of like inspired things in me that I was going through, and then lyrically, that's how I came out with saying what I said. And then, you know, they turned into songs or whatnot. But yeah,
Okay. So for Agua, it's about a 3-year relationship that came to an end. Tell me more about that.
yeah,
You're like
yeah,
about that.
yeah. Yeah. So I was in this relationship, and I'll speak on my end of the, you know, the
Yeah.
situation.
Mhm.
You know, it kind of just became like toxic at a certain point in time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like everything kind of became like super complacent, I guess you would say. Like both of us were musicians. Like
Uh huh.
we met at a studio, you know what I mean? And
Right.
like we were like in the beginning of the relationship, kind of like going after the music and like really doing stuff. But
Mhm.
then, you know, you
You get comfortable.
you get comfortable and then you know we get regular jobs
Yeah.
to live in a nice apartment and get a dog and like you know like
Aw,
you
the
get
little
like
white picket fence thing.
yeah you do
That's
all
the
of
vibes
that
I'm getting.
exactly your like priorities change from
Yeah.
like where they started and I think that's kind of like what drove everything like apart and
Mhm.
then long story short like you know, I realized after that relationship that like a relationship takes like work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you have to really listen to your significant other. So Agua, you know, is talking about like watering somebody or like helping them grow and
Mhm.
like really just like
Pouring into them.
exactly
Yes.
like acknowledging everything that they want and like vice versa. Like that person needs to like, you know, do the
Acknowledge what
same.
for you.
Exactly.
I completely understand.
Exactly. So, you know, like Agua was just talking about just like that realization, I guess, of
Mhm.
like what it takes to make a relationship work, you know, water, you
Yeah.
know.
I get it. Water. So what is Now about?
See, now I was in a whole different mood, you know what I'm
I see. I
saying?
felt the difference in the two.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like now it's pretty straightforward actually. I
Mhm.
seen, you know, I was talking to a little ting You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
And it was just like I'm kind of a shy person,
Uh-huh.
low key or high key. But you know, in that moment, I think I was just like, F it, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm
let's
just
do
gonna
it.
go try,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's do it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to wait and just bypass all my awkward shyness. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, let's just
Just do
jump
it.
into it. Yeah. So that's really what that one is about. You know?
Okay, that's super awesome. So at Fall Sail University, you had the opportunity to work with Tobin. And for those who don't know who Tobin is, he's a producer, DJ, and keyboardist from Atlanta that has collaborated with Usher, Future, Gucci, just to name a few. So tell me about that experience.
Yeah, that experience actually was really dope.
Yeah.
So it actually was a contest, and I started Full Sail in November
Mhm.
of 2018.
Mhm.
We're in 2019, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what
Almost
year are we in?
2020, but
Oh my
we're in
goodness.
2019
Oh
right now.
jeez, oh jeez.
You
All
got
right.
6 months left.
Oh man, I don't know what year we're in. Okay. So yeah, November 2018, and like right when I started, they have like I don't know different things on their website for people for students to like get involved with
Mhm.
the community. And I guess one of the things they had was this contest where they were like, well, you can meet Zaytoven, you can
Mhm.
work with him. And I was like, bet. You know
I'll
what I'm
try.
saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
I might as well. And I was looking on the forum for it, and there was just like hundreds of applicants. And I was like, damn, like this is actually going to be tougher because Full Sail is a school for production. So it's like
Uh-huh.
everybody was like
Right.
trying to get in on that. So like I literally submitted my my beat like last minute, like I'm talking about like the last day, and then it didn't even go through. Like I didn't even get a confirmation, so I
Oh
hit up the
wow.
school and I was like, can you make sure they get my beat? Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Can you double check
Yeah,
that?
and they actually did double check, which was cool.
That's
So
super awesome.
then they called me, like I was up, I hadn't even moved to Orlando at that point. I was up there just hanging out with some friends, and then I got like this random call, and it was his manager. It was
Uh-huh.
his manager, and she was like, "Yeah, congratulations, you're one of the top five." So
Wow.
then they went to top five, and they're like, "Okay, well, you can get a studio session, and then they'll pick the winner from
From
this
there.
from there." So I was like, bet. They're like, come up on so and so date. You get to talk to him, meet him, jam out,
Uh-huh.
show beats, you know, just have like a little
Do your
session.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. So then I went up, um, and it was like super cool. Like, um, he was there and we were just talking about like everything industry. He was telling
Uh-huh.
us about like his sessions with Usher and Gucci and like all that
Wow, that's
stuff, playing
awesome.
piano, and like we got to play some beats. So I just remember playing playing my beat, and that thing slapped, boy. I was like,
Girl, okay.
oh, because it was just in this nice studio, like I haven't heard my stuff in like just
Upscale place, like, or
yeah,
like super fancy. I get it.
yeah, like I was just like, whoa. And then everybody was kind of like, yeah. So
Yeah.
then I felt it. Like I felt good about that like when I left. And then yeah, like the people at Full Sail, I don't want to put them out, but I guess I will. He called me and he was like, "So you won the contest and you're going to go to Atlanta and act surprised when they tell you won,
Oh
cuz we're going to have
wow.
everybody go out, but you won," type thing. And then
Right.
so pretty much now I'm part of his mentorship program.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah. They
awesome.
gave me a nice fat check, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
And pretty much anytime he pulls up at Full Sail, like if he has any projects or anything like that, like
Mhm.
I get to be in there, you know, yeah,
Working, doing
working
what you
basically.
love. That's
So
awesome.
it's really cool. Like his manager, he got two managers. His manager
Mhm.
hits me up sometimes, um, just seeing what I'm doing and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
I've had a little health stuff going on, so I haven't been active
Uh huh.
as of right now. But soon, I'll be
That
back.
is
I'll be back
so
in the
cool.
cut.
Is that gonna push back like the album release since you're gonna be doing that? Cause I'm
Mm.
waiting on it, honestly.
Oh,
I'm waiting
oh,
on it.
yo, honestly, like, I wasn't even gonna do an album, but like, yo, people have been like, drop an
Yeah.
album, like, I'm like,
Yeah, we're waiting on Timeless.
oh, damn,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh huh.
yo,
I'm putting you on the spot. I know
oh,
a lot of us are
damn.
waiting on
I got put out for that quite a few
Yeah.
times actually.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Yeah, so I'm actually working on it, but I want it to be like really, really, really good. You know what I mean? Like I just want it to like really speak for me. And again, I do want to be self sufficient, so it's like hard because there's times where I'm just like, damn, I just kind of want to like send this off to somebody and have them mix it, so I don't have to sit here for like 10 hours and mix it myself and try to
You figure it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But um, I think I will,
Okay.
and I won't take forever with it. I'll probably
Okay.
drop it this year, but
Okay. Great things take time. I'm gonna give you that. What are some challenges you face as a female producer?
man, that is a great question. Um, I will say it's been like one of those kind of things where it's a huge dichotomy because it's
Mhm.
like I face a lot of challenges, but then I've also gotten a lot of advantages from being a
Okay.
female producer.
Mhm.
I will say like earlier on, like because I've been producing for a long time.
Mhm.
Earlier on, it was kind of actually I'm lying. Even now to this day, I face some like BS that like is just annoying. Like for
Mhm.
example, I'll go to a studio and I'll literally be sitting like in a captain's chair, like where he's sitting,
Mhm.
like in front of a mix. Shout out to him. Like in front of the mix board, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like having just made a beat or like whatever. Like this literally happened like maybe a couple months ago,
Uh-huh.
and like somebody else will come in and they'll introduce themselves to all the guys in the room. Granted, I'm sitting right in the captain's chair, and
Wow.
like not acknowledge me whatsoever.
No
And it's
way.
not until like they're like, "Oh, who made this beat?" or "Who mixed this song?" Till it's like,
Well,
"Oh, Lee
she
right
did.
here." She
Yeah.
yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, that's dope. I always wanted to work with a female producer." And I'm like,
Really? But you
yeah,
came in here with that type of energy?
yeah, exactly. So,
Wow.
and that's actually happened to me like at least 3 times where I'm just like, "Whoa, like serious?" Like, you know what I mean? So that's happened to me.
Uh-huh.
Just sometimes people don't expect it, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're not expecting you to be the one to like
Put
actually
out some dope shit.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
they're just like caught off guard, and then it just kind of gets annoying too with the whole female producer thing cuz it's like I said, like there's one dude, "Oh, I always wanted to work with a female producer." And it's like,
What do you mean?
yeah, like
Yeah, like is that
just
on your bucket list?
yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Like,
get
come
it.
on, get out of here. Like, it's just like work with me because I'm dope. Don't work with me
Yeah,
because I'm a.
because I'm a female.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of like that, almost the advantageous part because it's like sometimes I will get like a little bit more opportunity or like
Mhm.
maybe somebody will give me a chance or whatever to
Mhm.
see like what
See
I
what you
can
can do.
do
Yeah.
because they want to see what a female can do or bring to the table or whatnot. But it's
It's
kind of
one of those
like
things.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like just like me because you like the music or you
You like my work and I'm good
yeah
at what I do.
yeah like
Yeah.
don't have to bring in the whole element of oh you're a female and this is why you know
Yeah, I understand that. Girl, we working on it. Working
right
on
come on.
it. So, after you're reading your articles in Voyage Miami, Elevator, and Earmilk, people refer to your music as a smooth balance, soulful, and organic. What do you think about that?
I love that honestly like
I feel like those fit it exactly. Like when I was listening to the music, I'm just like, yeah, it makes sense.
really
Yeah, it does. And I like it because of the fact that I don't feel like you're trying to fit in with, like you said, mainstream. Like you're literally just doing what you love, putting it out there, and people are appreciating that. And it's raw. I love it. I really do.
I
So I'm waiting
appreciate
on the
I
album, dropping
appreciate that.
hints.
Yeah, right. Let me actually get to it. But no, I truly love that because honestly, like for a long time, I was like writing for other people and trying to
Mhm.
write like pop and like producing just like behind the scenes because I
Yeah.
never wanted to be like the one that was like actually like singing and
Yeah.
like being in the forefront, but like I couldn't actually like put my work into a box. Like people didn't understand it. Like
And
you know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Like
Yeah.
it was just crazy because like I'm like you don't hear like this melody and it just kind of like didn't work for like I guess just certain people. Like, it only worked for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then people got it when I started singing
Singing it,
myself and
yeah.
doing it myself. And then it was just like, oh, okay, that click came where it's like, okay, I see what you were trying to do, or I see where you're going with your
Yes.
style or whatnot. So, like, for it to be acknowledged by, like, people that review, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
other really great music, like, and for them to say such nice things about me and, like, my style, is it's amazing. It's a blessing for sure.
Yeah, it just had to be you. That
Yeah,
was your push. Like,
yeah.
okay, I got to be the one singing
Exactly. I
it.
gotta do it.
Yeah. What are some goals you set for yourself with music?
Oh man, I used to, like, really be like on some, oh, okay, like, I gotta make a song a day, I gotta produce like 10 beats a day, I gotta,
Mhm.
like, I used to be strict like that,
Mhm.
and then it became not fun for me. Like,
Yeah.
it really
No,
became
I
like,
definitely can relate.
yeah, it really became like
It felt like another job. Yeah, that's how I started to
100%.
feel with the podcast, because you have to be on Instagram and you have to post every day and you have to this and you have to that, and I'm just
100%.
like, at the end of the day, I love doing what I'm doing, and if 5 people listen to it, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, I would like it to be a main thing, where I'm selling out arenas and things like that, but if that doesn't come, that's fine. I just want it to be me and real and authentic. I don't like to be on Instagram every day. If I could not be on Instagram, I would be okay. But because I
hear
have
you.
to put the podcast out, I have to be on Instagram, and it's just like, I don't want to feel like a job.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you have to, like, you have to subscribe to this
Yeah.
Instagram push and content
Yeah,
and
and I
this
have
and
to
that.
post pictures of myself and be half naked, and I
Yeah.
don't want to have to do that.
Right.
Like,
Oh God,
I just want to be able to
hear you.
put it out there, and whoever gets it gets it.
No, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
because it does become like quite tedious. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, because sometimes you just want to chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
don't want to
No, I
actually.
understand. Especially with like working and go to school. Like, I have so much other things that I'm doing, and it's just like, this is supposed to be my outlet. This is supposed to be my fun. So don't make me work.
Yeah. And it's like kind of like two-sided, because it's like, although I don't know about for you, but like for me, like, you know, if I have enough streams or whatever, obviously there's monetary benefits, so it's kind of like a job.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, maybe you should treat it like a job.
Right.
But then it's like, man, like, I didn't really go into music for money. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I went into it, like you said, for an outlet, to like just get everything off my chest. But then at the same time, it's like, if it's good enough and people stream it enough, there's money attached to it. So it's like, and obviously there's big industry in audio, with podcasts and audio in terms of music. So it's kind of like just that split-minded thing where it's like, okay, yeah, like, gotta make this content and gotta do this, because obviously, like, I would love to be able to do this as a career and not have to do anything else.
Right.
But then at the same time, it's just like, damn, like, I cannot, like, because again, music comes from just like internal muses and stuff like that. I don't really write to like fit like some type of conform.
Yeah.
So it's just like, damn, like, I need
Yeah.
to be in a good place, or like I need to have something happen to me to like write. So it's just
yes.
like,
I feel the same way.
You understand? You
I
know exactly what I'm
do. I
talking
get
about.
it. I mean, like with episodes and stuff like that, especially because the name is like Real Life with Ty, so it's like I can't make anything up. And people would give me like, "Oh, you should talk about." I'm like, I've never experienced that. I can't sit here and have a conversation about something I've never experienced, or something that I can't relate to, because then it's not real, and then I'm lying.
Well, that's big facts, man. And people can tell like when you're not genuine. You know what I mean? Like, people can tell when you're just like doing something just to do it. And like sometimes it works out, because again, like, that would be like the popular, or fits into a box or whatever.
Right.
But like, if it doesn't, then it's just like you ruin your whole brand for what?
Exactly.
Like, like,
we got it. I get it.
We're
We're right here.
Synergy.
Okay, so I have your shirt on, and I'm gonna post a picture, even though I look like I'm 12 right now. It's okay. But your shirt says resilient, and you've been battling with Crohn's disease for the last 10 years. So what inspired the t-shirts and the foundation you have created? You know.
Wow.
What's your vision? What do you see with this?
Well, this all kind of came about because I have been struggling for 10 years, but it kind of got to the point where it was just like really, it got really bad. Like, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize that, like, me showing my story or sharing my story about having Crohn's and having had to go through 2 surgeries recently and having to be in the hospital for 4 weeks straight and them not feeding me for 2 weeks and yada, yada, yada. Like, I didn't realize like how impactful that would be to other people.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I've had people just tell me their stories, you know, not even Crohn's related, just health related. And, you know, that really kind of inspired me because I realized, you know, like the human body and just our human form is actually just really resilient. Like we can go through a whole bunch of adversity and it actually just makes us a lot stronger at the end of the day. Like it's really quite crazy, you know, because, you know, you wouldn't, you know, walking down the street, you would have no idea that, like, if you saw me, you would have no idea that last month I was literally hospitalized for a month straight, you know what I mean? Or having gone through just like that. So, you know, my vision for it is just to have like people have this open dialogue to know that it's okay. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're going through, there's people there for you, you know, because I think sometimes, you know, in those situations, it takes a toll on your mental health.
It does.
And you kind of feel, some people can kind of feel helpless, you know what I mean? Or like they feel like nobody else knows what they're going through, or, you know, it's just something unique to them. And it's not true. A lot of people go through a lot of difficult things. And I think just being able to share and know that you can go through it and like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Because if somebody didn't tell me that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, I was going crazy in the hospital.
4 weeks, man. I can only
4 weeks of like not going outside. Like I felt like I was in jail, man. Like not going outside, like being attached to like an IV pole, like doctors poking at you. Like it's not fun. So,
it's not.
So it just took like a lot of nurses and people telling me like, yo, you're gonna get out eventually. Like it might not be like tomorrow, but you're gonna get out. Just get through it. You're strong enough to get through this, and then by you getting through this, you're showing other people that they can get through it. You know, so that's like really part of the goal there. And then the other part is like Crohn's is one of those kind of things where they don't have like a cure or even like really good medicine for it that doesn't like have a lot of side effects. So I do like want to donate so that there is more research being done, because more and more people are starting to have these kind of problems and this kind of disease, unfortunately. And I won't get into the whole conspiracies behind why I think this is happening, but you know.
We ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, we won't go down that rabbit hole.
All right,
but
we'll save that for another.
Yeah, that'll be when you have the podcast on on U.S. conspiracies. I'll be here. I'll be ready. I'll be locked and loaded.
But that's really awesome, and I'm happy that I was able to support that. And
oh yes,
I will continue to support if you have anything else going on with it as well. So awesome. And before we wrap up, what is some advice you want to give out to fellow songwriters, producers, singers, or anyone who is pursuing a music career?
Well, the best advice I can give is just be true to yourself, you know, and just be confident. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned, I guess. It's just that, like, confidence in yourself will have other people believing in you and you believing in yourself, and that just, it's a domino effect, you know. People will believe in it.
That's
you
super
believe
awesome.
in it.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank
I
you
really
for having
enjoyed
me.
this interview.
This was fun.
All right, y'all boys. Holla. Yeah.
Here is a quick snippet of Lee's song Agua.
So much agua in the room, I'm feeling you. So much agua in the room, I'm feeling you. So much.
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you guys for listening to this podcast. If you are trying to figure out ways to support the podcast, what you can do is rate the podcast, follow, comment, subscribe, download on any platform that you are listening to this podcast on. Tell a friend, repost it on any platform that you are listening to the podcast. Use hashtag Real Life with Ty. The more that you do that is the more ways that other people can also find the podcast and help us get out there. And as you guys know, if you have any questions, suggestions, or want to leave me any comments, feel free to DM me at Real Life with Ty. That's also my Twitter and Instagram, or you can email me at reallifewithty@gmail.com. Holla!
You've got Ty on the line on her podcast. So